Hello again, everyone. This is CCB Fozzie, joined by CCB Dolan, and we bring you Incursion Shiny Network versus DyslExodus Weeby May, and a really familiar-looking setup from ISN and very Dominix-looking setup from Exodus. Why don't you tell us a little bit about these setups, CCB Dolan?
Well, so the Dominix setup here is going to be very strong. They've chosen to go with triple Dominix with the double Inquisitor logistics support, some E-War. The Hyena and the carries are going to be very strong for their ability to damp out at long range, and the Hyena's target pointer is going to be tremendously useful for the Dommies here. The big problem for the Incursion Shiny Network team is that Guardian. They have a large tank in those Damnations. They're going to have a lot of damage in those Vexors, and just some general E-War with that Mollusk and the Purifier. But that Guardian is going to get deleted in the first couple seconds of this match. If it doesn't, then maybe Incursion Shiny Network has a chance. If it does, like is about to happen in a few seconds, then there's a huge there's a target painter. Yeah,
and Guard 2's out by DyslExodus. They actually brought in their Dominix relatively close to the beacon at only 30 kilometers. Those guards are going to be in pretty excellent range right now, so we'll have to see how quickly it applies the damage to the Guardian as it starts to eat through armor. That Guardian is starting to tank, though. He has a whole bunch of armor maintenance pots on it, massive chunk of it. This is going to be very similar to the match we actually saw just previously, where the ISN team with those Damnations is going to be focused on tanking. Their way to victory is going to be by staying alive and wearing down the DyslExodus.
Oh, wow.
team.
I wonder if this is like a modified Enchantress style setup.
Yeah, I mean, we've got the Celestis is almost definitely using its drones for rep drones. The Damnations have their drones as rep drones, which is something that would have made it a lot easier for the Semicolon Drop Users.
DyslExodus just target switch. They don't think they can break the Guardian.
We'll have to see how well they can do on a Vexor. Vexor with obviously a much smaller tank, but it's going to be repped by the Guardian. So I do not really like their chances of being able to break that at this point.
Wow.
And already it carries down.
Yes.
That is a boundary violation.
Okay, that's some terrible piloting.
Just lost one of their carries. He was way out there, far away from the rest of the team, though. There's no real reason for him to make that mistake. That really hurts.
Who knows?
That carries is going to be the key part of their strategy to get the Guardian off balance. The damps on the Guardian there are obviously one of the most powerful things in a tournament setting. They just don't have the ability to now put that damp pressure on it, so it's going to be able to lock all the way across the arena. You see now no E-War being applied from the DyslExodus team at all.
And crucially, the Celestis and the Mollusk for Incursion Shiny Network have nothing to worry about now.
Yeah.
They're only concerned about damage, and they're able to keep that Hyena target painter completely negated.
Yeah.
There is no target painter on the field, making all the Vexors, the Incursion Network Mollusk, the Purifier, infinitely more safe from that long-range sentry damage.
Yeah, I mean, this is excellent use of the damps.
Here's the damage on the dummy. So we're gonna have to see if they can break this.
Not tackled yet, though. So we'll have to see if the Exodus team is fit kind of the way you'd expect them to in this setup. Then it may have a MJD as well. So they're gonna want to get a scrambler on it before they bring it down too much lower.
And you can see here, it looks like they're actually shooting drones. This Vexor here is just shooting drones off the field. But they're moving their rep drones around really smartly. So the Celestis new primary, but he's catching Guardian reps. They're basically taking this blob of all of their rep sentries and splitting it up and moving it around, sort of like an amoeba, to keep those ships that really need that extra bump in reps on the field.
Yep.
And the Guardian reps are just as strong, if not stronger, than your typical Oneros.
And it's really excellent multitasking now. Having every member of the team has to be assigning these drones themselves. You can't actually assign rep drones to other people. So this means that they're all having to manage that as well as managing their normal targets. However, that Dominix is tanking quite well.
Yeah.
I think at this point ISN needs to try to figure out some way to disrupt those Inquisitors, whether it's getting them damped out and away from the fight,
or ISN just has to not lose any ships.
Yes, they also could just survive the whole match because of that carries that went out of the arena.
So they have damage here on the Vexor. They're actually trying to fight this Purifier, which is smart. It's going to have nearly as weak or weaker a tank than the Mollusk, slower than the Mollusk. So if they can catch it out, it is tackled. But they just look like they're not doing enough damage to it. It looks like the majority of the damage here is coming on Conquistador in this Vexor. We're gonna have to see if that
moving through armor.
We're gonna have to see if that blob has moved onto him. You can see here the blob in the top right corner there, almost all on Conquistador. But we have smart bombs from the Dominix of Vistone. Yep. If they can smart bomb away this group of
there it is. A lot of drones just exploded. So that's the two Vexors just lost a ton of drones. These are heavy. Never mind. They didn't explode. They're just being very intelligently pulled out and back in by the Vexors.
Smart move.
However, they're going to have to try to apply this damage.
This Dominix is going to go down, though. If Zarazel drops, that's a huge huge deficit for them to crawl back from.
And that's going to make keeping the Vexor or the Vexor that's under fire from ISN a lot easier to keep him alive.
Oh, he doesn't have any reps. Why does the Vexor have no Guardian reps on him? There's no
the
pressure.
Guardian is being neuted.
Oh, he does have new pressure.
He got in very close. You see the neuts being applied from the Dominix is on him. And
they're going to trade. They need the volley here. They need the volley here before the Inquisitor reps land. There we go. Cool.
So Zeraxel is down. This is still like an excellent trade for ISN. You got to be happy with losing a Vexor in order to get a Dominix down.
Yeah, strong performance here. But the thing is, how many drones do they have left? They're going to have to eventually pull away from these dummies, or perhaps run like a circuit. When a ship is taking damage, they keep their drones all in the ball outside the actual brawl, and then when a ship takes damage, it has to move out, sort of like a pit stop, pick up those drones, get right back up, and then come back in, and then force DyslExodus to constantly switch targets through that rotation. But that's a hard maneuver to pull off.
Yeah, the Guardian here of Kraylor is moving away. He got himself out of neut range. Oh, now he's back being neuted again, but he's trying to burn away from the Dominix as quickly as possible to get out of neut range. However, he's got a Painter and webs from that Hyena on him. This is excellent use of the Hyena of El Diablo de Rojo from DyslExodus. He's keeping that Guardian in place, keeping it within neut range, and that is going to cause the Guardian to die if he can't get away from it very soon, because he's under enough neut pressure that his hardener is going to be turning off.
Yep, you can see there that cloud of drones is still on top of him, but that cloud of drones only works if you have that hardener, like we said before. So it looks almost as though, oh, finally catch us on the Inquisitors for DyslExodus. If they can drop these 2 Inquisitors, they can basically have their way with only 2 Dominix and a Hyena. Especially considering that the Inquisitors and the Stiletto are going to be the only thing that are really applying tackles to these Guardians.
Yeah, I mean, the Inquisitor is probably not going to be applying tackles. They've only got 2 mids, but the Stiletto definitely is. And Mr. Falcon is dropping. If he goes down, that is going to be a huge, huge win for ISN. Their damnations
At the same time, the Guardian is already in very, very low armor. He needs to get out right now.
He can't. He is like double webbed by this Hyena. Look at how slow he's going. And he's got 2 Dominixes neuting him right now. He has no way to escape. His only way forward now is to just survive as long as possible.
Those webs are from the Dominix, I think.
Well, he definitely does have Hyena webs on him as well. The Hyena is right up close.
Long range webs.
Yeah, so the Hyena with its long range webs is on him. The Dominixes are both neuting him. He is going to die, but it looks like these Inquisitors are both going to die around the same time, and that is going to be bad news for DyslExodus, because these damnations are going to be very, very hard to eat through with Dominix DPS.
Yeah, you can see there the vast difference in the EHP and the blue bar. We, as always, have these wonderful user interface bars here. So the blue bar, defense, with the purple rep bar, the red bar filling up with attack as you apply more of potential DPS, and the same with control in green.
So now with the Guardian down for ISN, the Purifier follows right behind, as that Stiletto was on him the whole time there to start applying damage to him. And now they're going to take a Celestis down as well. DyslExodus is in a great position. That Inquisitor is not dead yet. Oh, as I say that, Sabotage takes gigantic chunks of armor damage. Obviously, not very plate-heavy tanks. These guys are probably heavily resist tank to work along with the Inquisitors. But yes, the Celestis is going to drop, but so is that Dominix, and that's going to put ISN in a pretty dominated position.
He is running a local rep. He is running a local armor rep on that Dominix, which is quite good in this position. It's going to take a lot longer to kill him than it normally would, but I don't know if they're going to be able to trade back 2 Domis versus 2 or Domi versus 2 Damnations. No matter what support you have, there's always going to be a tough fight.
Yeah, that is going to be a very, very tough one to win. That Inquisitor still being alive could really help you out at this point. The Vexors aren't applying much damage. It looks like they've got only about 1 flight of drones between them, but it is going to be enough to take down the Dominix. And now we're going to have to see, they need to pull down this Vexor for ISN.
That Dominix is holding for so long.
Yeah, he's surviving. Every moment he survives longer is going to help that Vexor get brought down.
There we go.
All right, so now we have a massive points lead with only 2 minutes left for DyslExodus Weeby May, or for ISN, sorry. And at this point, I think ISN is, again, in a hugely strong position.
Yeah, they need to kill 6, 10, 26. If they killed both support and the Damnation, they'd be able to...
But they need to kill a Damnation.
Yeah, a Damnation. That's the problem.
And that is a huge wall to get through. The support killing, not a problem at all. Killing a Damnation in only 1 minute and 30 seconds. I don't think that's going to happen. This team does not. This team has less DPS than the Golem by itself, pretty much, that we saw in the last match. It's going to be very, very hard for them to eat all the way through a Golem in only 1 minute and 20 seconds. That means we're going to be seeing 2 big upsets in a row. So semicolon dropkill users knocking out Barbecue's German ski lesson.
It's not an upset on my piece of paper right here. I picked Incursion Shine Network to win, and it looks like I'm going to be right unless something drastically changes here.
Unless one of the Damnations flies out of the arena. And since they're webbed, I doubt it's going to happen. We only have 1 minute left, and these Damnations are just not going to die.
So nice of DyslExodus to web them so they don't make that mistake.
It really is now only 1 minute away from this happening. Do you know who definitely consider these upsets is all the people betting on EveBet. These are both two teams that were very heavily bet against taking the win. So there's going to be some very happy people winning with some pretty great odds.
I have to go collect my winnings later.
The Vexer and the Mollusk still hanging on in low armor there for ISN. They're actually probably not even going to die at this point. They've managed to pull range, and so all the fire has been applied to one Damnation. There's no way that Damnation is going to go down. And so this is going to be ISN knocking out Exodus. Again, words I was not expecting to say this tournament.
Incursion stills are basically, that's the prototype for all PvP. If you can do incursions well, you're pretty much an elite PvPer.
Yeah, this Guardian obviously doing a great job keeping his ships alive for so long, possibly getting a lot of training from that. Also, I'm sure he has PvP experience as well. And that is it. ISN winning on points over DyslExodus WeeBeeMay. That means German Ski Lesson and Exodus knocked out already.
We'll see you back in the studio in just a couple seconds.